Hey everyone, it's Vision. Most new games these days we play no longer respect the time or money we put into them. We used to be able to pre order a game and already know if it would be good, or we would wait for a game to come out and hear if it's good. Now you just wait and hear if it even works on release, or find out if it's pay to win. The issue doesn't lie with developers, but with the game studios themselves. More specifically, the bosses and investors that force rush games out only to find out they have technical issues or bad monetization that drove the game downhill, like Anthem. Of course, this doesn't apply to all studios and teams. There are games that value your time, more recently, Baldur's Gate and, believe it or not, Starfield, and we'll get back to them. More and more recently, game studios have been rushing out projects that aren't finished. For example, the Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the Definitive Edition, rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? This game on release was absolutely horrible and at times unplayable. Some character models looked worse than the original, graphical issues like the rain, and general performance issues that hurt the player's experience. And to make it worse, even before the release, they delisted the three original games to force people to buy the trilogy. Games are allowed to be put out there even if they aren't ready, because their thought process, they can just fix it later. I'm unsure on how the trilogy is running now in 2023, but I've gotten past wanting to go back and play it. And now let's just hope they don't ruin Red Dead Redemption 1 release. It looks exactly the same with no graphical or gameplay improvements. I will note that the remake for the Grand Theft Auto trilogy was made by a third party. However, Rockstar, as the publisher and IP owner, should have had better quality checks in place. And the worst part is that the team that pushed out GTA Trilogy completely knew it was not ready, wasting the time of the people who bought it on release, who couldn't get refunds, and wasting the time of the players for dealing with technical issues. This causes way more harm for their brand than good. But do you remember when you can buy a game and actually get to play the full game? This doesn't mean that back in the day that the games didn't have their issues. Baldur's Gate 3 was recently released and has already captured players who don't even play D&D. Loading the game, there are no microtransaction pop-ups, no battle pass, just press play and you're in. This is rare these days. And don't listen to the people complaining on the internet saying this should not be the new standard. This is my new standard. Why shouldn't the players decide what they want? Why can we not get a full experience when we pay for a full price on a game? I do understand video games can be expensive to make, and the devs do have to make some money, and more recently the live service model has become the norm, but not for the benefits of the players. Originally, it was to keep a game going with updates and content. Games like Destiny 1 I felt did it correctly. But this game model was not built for all games. Games like Valorant and League of Legends use this to evolve over time. WoW needs to keep the lights on, and Fortnite needs another skin release. But games like Marvel Adventures is just an insult to the community. If you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance, you'll know that it was a fun adventure, and that's all. It doesn't need to keep going. Elden Ring, for example, is an amazing single-player game with no microtransactions that made roughly $6.85 billion when the game only cost them $200 million. If a game is fun, people will spend their hard-earned money to play it. Microtransactions have slowly creeped their way into the mainstream, and it's hard to find a game without one, and EA is one of the biggest offenders. They specifically target the casual demographic for sport games, incentivizing pack openings for better players. This is why no matter how many videos and forums that are bashing on it, the player isn't on the internet. They purchase it in a store, pop it in their console, and then drop an additional $20 on the intro pack because it's discounted, and why not? There are also whales for the game, who drop thousands of dollars to become the best immediately, and because they can. When you lose, you're more inclined to purchase a pack because you only lost because you had a better player, so you spend $20, and the next week another $20, and so on and so on. And of course, EA doesn't mind, since they already know they're one of the most hated companies. They can just dry their tears with all that money. The worst part of EA sport games is they aren't just littered with microtransactions. It's that next year's release will not carry anything over that you purchased and basically wants you to buy a whole new player set of cards again. And trust me, they don't miss a year, and they haven't since 2007. If you want to be good at the game, you do have to learn the game and gain the skill. But if someone throws more money than you, you can't compete even if you're at the same skill level. Now, this doesn't make players bad for playing. If I wanted to play a soccer game, FIFA would be my first choice too. But imagine putting so much work, hours, and money into the game, then just get hard reset for the next one. I'm okay with games that do just cosmetic microtransactions like Valorant and League of Legends, where you can buy a $70 skin collection or $200 skin but those are just skins. They don't boost or improve your gameplay, even though it may feel like it. I am personally okay with purchasing them because I'm supporting a free-to-play game where I know if I spend $70, I'll be using the skins potentially for years to come. But when the next FIFA game is released at $70 with $10 battle passes throughout the year, with the option to buy character packs in the game, which they're not guaranteed, only then go to the trash the next year. No, thank you. Game companies continue to attempt to put out games as quickly as they can, and the only way we can really fight it is to not pre-order games or buy it on release. Wait for a reviewer to see if the game's any good, or see what others are saying. Unfortunately, I don't see a world where microtransactions are going away. There does need to be a balance in the game ecosystem where we can receive good games and also companies don't have to be greedy. There's a reason why they hire psychologists in game development. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like. Have a good one.